And we are off. You ready?
Got it.
Okay. Let's start with this one. What do you think?
Um, that's when value is added, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, and just say the word when we write it too, when we put it up there. So this one's ad valorem.
Ad valorem. Okay.
Yeah, so what does that mean?
Isn't that mean when like basically there is when like the value of the house goes up?
No, that's just Latin for according to value.
Oh, okay.
Okay? It's Latin for according to value.
According to value.
Yes. And another Latin word is novation.
Novation. That's for like new, right?
Yes,
Isn't it?
good. Latin for new. Excellent. Good. Okay, joint tenancy.
Joint tenancy. It's right of survivorship.
Okay, what else makes a joint tenancy joint tenancy?
Joint tenancy makes it a joint tenancy because both owners have the same type of interest, and
All
it's
right,
one title,
good. So remember time, title, interest, and possession.
right?
Okay, you got to remember that. Time, title, interest, and possession.
Okay.
Okay, and then the other thing is the right of survivorship. Good. Chattel Real.
That's personal property.
Excellent. Good.
43,560 square feet.
Good. It's an acre. 40,560. Good. Is cheat.
As cheat, it's the method of the government basically taking the property when there's no will.
Good. Essentials of a valid contract.
Such as of a valid contract. It needs to be there needs to be a legal type of way, basically. Um,
So there's four
mutual.
essentials. Four essentials.
Um, Man, I know this one. Um, it needs to be there needs to be a
Mutual consent.
mutual consent. It needs to be basically there needs to be like a legal type of like
Good.
basically like the form needs to be legal.
Lawful object. Good.
Yeah, lawful object. Man, I like blacked out right now.
Okay. So you got your mutual consent, lawful
Right,
object, consideration, and capable
consideration.
parties.
There you go.
Here,
Okay.
just say that back.
Um, capable parties,
Good. It's one.
mutual consent,
Good.
lawful object,
Good.
and consideration.
Excellent. Good.
Well, what's the consideration part?
Anything of value.
Anything about it, right? Like money and hug, whatever, right?
Yeah, anything. Anything that somebody considers of value.
Oh, got it.
Okay, protection period clause.
Protection period clause. That's a protection for a broker if during the listing he found a buyer and the buyer doesn't actually put an offer in, but until like the listing expires.
Okay, good. So basically, the broker get paid if somebody who they put an offer with during the term of the listing, or it doesn't have to be put in an offer. They could prove they found them during the term of the listing, and then the deal closes after the listing. They still get paid.
Right. Right. Okay.
Okay. Remember, say the word when you see it.
General liens.
Good. Okay, so what's
Um,
this?
General liens. It's an encumbrance. I believe it's when something is affecting the property or title.
Okay. What makes this different than a specific lien?
Uh, General liens, isn't it like taxes and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's anything that goes against all property. So it depends what kind of taxes. Income tax goes against all your property. Property taxes is specific.
Okay. All right.
Okay?
Redlining. That's a method that lenders want. Basically, this method is illegal. It's a method that lenders use to not give loan to like a certain basically city or area.
Okay. Good. So that's a violation of federal housing.
Right.
Okay.
Secondary mortgage market. That's where houses like the mortgage gets sold there, and is usually at a higher interest rate.
Right. Remember the words resale marketplace.
Resale marketplace. Okay.
Yeah, remember that. As opposed to the primary mortgage market.
Probably mortgage market. I mean, that's like the first market where like if you buy like if you get but like if you get like a mortgage, that's like the primary one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like going to the bank.
Right. A net lease, that's when the lessee pays for a lot of stuff, basically, like they pay for like the taxes and stuff like that,
Yeah, so tax, insurance, and maintenance.
right? Non-conforming use, that's like grandfather, I guess you could think, isn't it?
That's a way to get non-conforming use. But non-conforming use itself is just a type of use that is different than the zoning in the area.
Non-conforming use, that's when like if like let's say like if there was like a specific type of law before, it's not um like if the law changed, isn't it that?
Yeah, so
Or
you got grandfathered in, so you get to use the property in a way that is not similar to the rest of the area.
got it, okay. I didn't even know how to say that.
Caveat emptor.
Um, that one sounds really, really. I don't know this one, to be honest with you.
That just means buyer beware.
Oh, buyer be aware. Okay, yeah, yeah. It sounded familiar, but I can't remember it.
Okay, good. Inverse condemnation.
That's when inverse condemnation. That's when like the owner sues like the government
Good.
when
Why?
when he's like fighting for compensation when they took his property or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's under eminent domain. They didn't pay just
Yes,
compensation.
right.
Okay.
Mechanics lien. That's a type of lien that basically a contractor does when he's not getting paid or when he doesn't get paid.
Good. So that'd be a general lien or specific lien?
That will be a specific lien.
Good.
Prepayment clause. That's something that the borrower needs to pay if he pays the loan before the due date.
Good. Okay. This should be an easier one, right?
Real property, yes. Basically anything that is immovable by law.
Okay, good.
Hold harmless clause. isn't it this when it's like a protection for the broker if he's getting wrong information from the seller?
Good. You have been studying. Good job.
Thank you. Cost replacement approach. This is for like new property.
Okay. Good. It's not new property. It's like special property.
Okay. Because that's like for like new construction too, isn't it?
Yeah, you could use it for that.
Okay. Listing. That's an employment contract from. I mean, that's an employment contract between the broker and the seller, and the owner of the purchaser of the house
To do what?
to find a buyer.
Is it bilateral or unilateral?
That's a bilateral.
Are you sure?
Yes, because I'm giving you a promise that I'm gonna find a buyer, and you're giving me the promise to pay me, basically.
What if it's an open listing?
It's an open listing. It's a unilateral because
There you go. Yeah, so careful with that one.
yes.
Yeah, but you see, kind of tricked you there.
Right. You did.
So I guess the answer to that one is it depends on the type of listing.
Right. Okay. Economic obsolescence. That's when, that's basically anything that happens around the property.
Good.
Encumbrances, it's something affecting the property.
Good.
Or title of property.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Thank you. Constructive notice. Constructive notice. Man, this one's, I don't know why this one is really hard with me. Anything that is like constructive with it, I have problems with.
It just means you're not actually confronting the person.
Okay.
It's more a roundabout way of notifying somebody.
Okay. Less than freehold estate.
You're different. Yeah, I understand what you're going with this. That has to do with time frames. But what's the lease
Okay.
itself?
Lease itself, it's personal property.
Excellent. That's what I was looking for. Good.
All right, got it. Sandwich. I haven't studied this one. I don't have an idea.
Do you know what a sublease is?
Yes.
It's the same
It's
thing.
like, right. Okay. All right. Okay.
That's all it is. It's just another way of saying a sublease. Just think the person in the middle, he's a lessor and a lessee.
Got it.
So he's in the middle like a sandwich.
Okay. Building codes. That's I mean, basically, it's like the minimum requirement for like a building, stuff like that, right?
Yeah, and it's a police power.
Okay.
Okay? You want to remember that.
Government powers. Pete, right?
Good.
Am I wrong? Pete.
No,
Police power as cheat, taxation, and eminent domain.
nice. Good job.
Thank you. Exclusive agency listing. That's a type of listing that you need to be the procuring costs.
Why?
Because I mean, you need to be the procuring costs for the buyer, but basically but the seller has the right to find their own buyer.
Right, which is why you need to be the procuring cause.
Right.
Because if you're not, the seller could say, I owe you nothing.
Right.
Good.
Negative amortization. That's when you keep making payments, but the loan doesn't go down, basically, right?
Right, because your payments are not covering the interest, so it goes up.
Right.
So straight no is when you're just covering the interest,
Just
so
the
it stays the
interest.
same.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
Gross lease. That's the opposite of net lease. It's basically that's when the owner pays for some payments of the lease.
The tenant pays a set amount.
Right.
This is your
And
typical residential lease.
okay. Sherman Antitrust Act. Um, isn't this for that's an act for like brokers to for kickbacks, right? Isn't it?
No, that's RESPA. So this is
Oh,
bigger than real estate. This just has to do with free market competition.
oh, right, right.
So
I know this one. Right, right.
stops things such as like price fixing, things of that nature.
Okay, okay. Like a set commission interest rate, right?
Right, or saying like I'll take the south side of town, you take the north side, you don't come to my area, I don't go to yours. That kind of
Got it.
stuff.
Okay, got it, got it. Short rate. That's for like an insurance, right?
Good. It just means if the policy gets canceled, you don't get the full amount back.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. A specific liens. Well, a specific liens is basically like a mechanics lien, right? Like for like a
Yeah,
specific type
so
of.
that's an example of one. But what they are is when they go after one thing specifically, which is the
Okay, okay,
property.
okay. Amortization. That's a way of making like installments for payments for a home, isn't it?
Yes. It's yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's just a
Oh,
method of paying down the loan.
got it. Principle of regression. That's when the value of the property goes down, right?
Why?
I mean, something affecting the area or like houses went down
Yeah, the other
around it.
properties in the area are lesser value.
Right, right.
Good.
Narrative appraisal. That's the most detailed appraisal there is.
Bang. Nice job.
Thank you.
And has the statement of purpose right up there.
Right. Market data comparison approach. That's like comparing to sold properties.
Good. You do it every day. You go to the mall and you buy shoes.
Right, right, right.
Yeah. So what I'm forgetting is you want to keep things simple. A lot of these concepts are not as complicated as people think.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah.
Market data approach saying, those Nikes are $100. The one in the store next door they're 90. I'm getting the one they're 90. That's all
Right,
it
right.
is.
Physical deterioration. That's when I mean that's simple basically. That's when like the physical aspect of the property is going down.
Good. So it's one of the three forms of depreciation. What are the other two?
Depreciation. That's the other one is obsolescence, right?
Yeah, economic obsolescence and functional obsolescence.
Functional obsolescence. Yes. 1031 tax deferred exchange. That's when you that's something that like investors use, right? When they
Not
want to like
necessarily. I mean, you and I could use it too.
that's like basically for you to from the money that you invested to get another property.
Excellent. Good. So you take the money you made from one property, you put it into another, and you don't get taxed.
Right.
Okay. And there's time frames you'll probably have to know for your exam that you want to look up. Okay.
Time frames for that.
Yeah, like you can't just sell a property, have the money, and hold the money for like 10 years.
Oh, I get you. Okay,
Like
okay, okay.
it's a little more complicated than that. In fact, in real life, there's lawyers who specialize in this.
Oh, okay, okay.
But the gist of it, to your point, to keep it simple for now, you take the money and you put it into another property.
Right. Okay. Fee simple estate. That's the like this That's like the most absolute state that you can hold, right?
Good. Yes, exactly. Also known as fee simple absolute. Is it free of all encumbrances?
No.
Because
I mean, just because it's fee simple state doesn't mean that it's not free of encumbrances.
there's always taxes.
Right. Right. Lease pending. That's when there's something pending.
Good. What's pending?
Like a court action or something like that.
Excellent.
Or like,
Good.
right.
Perfect. Yeah,
Okay.
it's literally Latin for lawsuit pending.
Oh, okay. Fee simple, the feasible. That's basically that's like if you own title, but if you do something, it goes back to the original owner.
Good.
Execution contract. That's when there needs to that's when performance needs to be made still.
Excellent. Good. So there's a lot of words here, so we're going to try and answer them really quickly. So try and use one word, like boom, and then we'll move on.
All right, got it.
Yeah, and if also that would be a good skill for you to develop to really keep it simple.
Okay.
I mean, you've probably heard my videos before. I'm always like, keep it simple, keep it simple.
Right. Yeah. Puffing, exaggerating.
Excellent. That was perfect. I mean, one of the things people like to say is if you could explain it in an elevator, you truly understand it.
Okay. Like
Because
like in two words.
yeah, because you know when people don't understand stuff, they'll say, "Yeah, it's like this," and kind of, well, sort of, blah blah blah, you know. And
Right.
but if
Okay.
you say
Yeah.
like puffing, yeah, that means exaggerating. Bam. Next, what else?
Got you.
And
Got
that's
you.
also good practice for selling real estate too. I mean, when you got clients who know nothing, you want to be able to explain things in a concise, quick manner
Right. Okay.
without
Yeah.
rambling and sounding confusing. What's that thing? If you use confusing words to explain confusing concepts, you're just making it confusing.
You are. Yeah.
You know?
um. Man. We're talking about doing it quickly. Basically, that's quick title action. Release clause.
Clearing title.
Oh, clean title. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but releasing, well, that works. That works.
One owner.
Boom, perfect.
Material fact. You gotta help me with this one.
So that's just things that affect the value of the property, things that need to be disclosed. For example,
Oh,
it would be
right.
like a leaky roof or something like that.
Right. Okay. That those material facts always needs to be disclosed,
Yeah,
right?
there are things that need to be disclosed that are obvious that affect the value of the property. Like the best example is like a leaky roof.
Okay, got it. Sales price versus rent.
Yep, price divided by rent.
Right.
Excellent. It's a gross rent multiplier.
Executed contract. Basically contract that it's ready to be signed.
No, it's being performed.
It's being performed.
Like it's
Okay.
complete.
All right. Not listing when you get paid any amount above anything that you gave already to the seller.
Well, it's above a set price.
Okay. Value. What the property is worth.
Good. It's what a ready, willing, able buyer pays for it.
Right. Okay.
The tricky thing here, it's not what the appraiser says. That's an estimate of value.
Okay.
All right, people mess that up a lot, so careful with that one.
All right. Functional obsolescence. That's basically when there's 3 rooms and 1 garage. I mean 3 rooms and like 1 bathroom.
Good.
They make sure that title is clear.
Good. Repairing rights.
River. Personal property attached to real property.
Right, so it's personal property becomes real property. What's the lady's name we want you to remember?
Maria.
Good. What does that stand for?
I know it's adaptation.
Method, adaptability, relationship,
Adaptability.
intention, agreement. Say that.
Right. Method, adaptability, relationship, agreement,
Intention
uh,
and agreement.
intention and agreement. There you
Good. Okay, current estates.
go. Two owners or three owners, doesn't matter.
Okay, give me 2 examples of them.
Tenancy, incumbent,
And
and tenancy, incumbent, and the other one.
you went over it before.
Right, we did. Tenancy, incumbent, and joint tenancy.
Boom. Nice. Essential elements of value.
Essential elements of value. Ooh. I got blacked out on this one, man. I'm not.
Stud.
Stud. There you go. Stud. Does a stud, right?
Yep. So what does that stand
It's scarcity. I think it's called.
for? Scarcity.
It's scarcity.
Transferability.
Transferability.
Utility and demand.
Utility and demand. Yes.
Yeah, say that.
It's scarcity or what's it called?
Scarcity.
It's scarcity, transferability, utility, and demand.
Excellent. Nice. Good job.
In pounds. I'm not sure about this one.
It's when the lender collects taxes and insurance
Okay.
in an impound account. Okay. Okay, judgment lien.
Just mean that's a lien against the property from a court, isn't it?
General or specific lien?
That's a specific lien.
Nope, that's a general lien.
General lien. Okay.
I mean, they could come after everything.
Okay.
Okay, give me an example of a voluntary lien.
Mortgage.
Good. Excellent. Okay. Tenant improvement allowances.
That's when the tenant makes when he fixes up the property, basically.
Good. Usually for commercial, when they allocate a certain amount of money to the tenant to make it more applicable to them.
Right.
Okay. What would make a contract void?
Not having a legal purpose.
Good. That's a good example. Okay. What's a dual agent?
One broker representing buyer and seller at the same transaction.
Good. What's an appraisal?
It's an estimate of value.
Good. A balloon loan?
A balloon loan, it's a payoff of the loan, but there still needs to be one last payment to be made, isn't it?
Good. So I want you to remember is partially amortized loan.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Avulsion?
Avulsion, when the land becomes separate, when it's like a tier away of
Good.
land.
It's tearing away the land by water. Good. Life estate?
It's an estate based on someone's life.
Good. Eminent domain?
It's a government power when there is no will and they take it after 5
No,
years.
there's nothing to do with wills.
Oh, no. Sorry. Yeah. Eminent domain. That's when they take the property and they pay you for it for a public reason.
Good. And if they don't, they file inverse condemnation.
Right.
And if they do something called condemnation, right?
Condemnation. Right. That's the payment of.
Good. An exclusive listing?
Exclusive listing, isn't it the same as exclusive deviation listing? Isn't it the
No.
same?
Oh, I'm sorry. So you have listings, and you have exclusive listings, and there's 2 types of exclusive listings: exclusive agency and exclusive right to sell.
Right.
So what does exclusive mean?
Exclusive, it means one broker.
Good. That's it.
Okay.
And then you have under those exclusive right to sell and exclusive agency, which
Okay.
is this one: exclusive authorization and right to sell.
Right.
And that
That
means, yeah.
that means that the broker does not need to be the cost because for the house to be sold, basically, right?
Right. If it sells, you get paid no matter what. And that's the standard one you're going to sign.
Okay.
Okay. Principal progression.
Principle of progression. That's when the value of the house goes up, isn't it?
Yes, because it's surrounded by other nice houses.
Right.
Voidable contract.
Valid, but can be void.
Good. Why? Give me an example.
Uh, like if like if I like if basically I put a gun in your head and tell you to buy this property.
Right, because you're threatening me and putting me under duress.
Right.
Good. Okay, trade fixture.
For businesses.
Good. A pertinent easement.
I benefit from you from basically going over your property.
Well, the easement goes with the property when it's sold.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you
Right.
just described like an easement. That's a type of easement that goes with the property.
Okay.
Subleases.
Subleases, I I give my lease to someone else, but I'm still responsible for it.
Okay, remember this. The lessee is also a lessor.
Okay.
Do you see
Right,
why?
because he gives it to someone else, right?
Right.
Basically.
And
Okay.
here's another thing you want to remember. You transfer possession, but not responsibility.
Okay.
Okay?
Got
If
it.
you transferred responsibility, it would be assignment.
An assignment.
Okay?
Okay. What should be subject to, right? Isn't it
Well,
the
no, we're
same
talking
thing?
about leases now. We're not talking about
Oh, right. Okay. Okay.
loans. Taxation is one of the government powers. What are the other three?
Um, eminent domain, it's cheat, and police power.
Good. Panic peddling.
That's me telling the like the owners of a home to sell their homes because there's like people coming in their city
Right.
or
I say the example of like, you better sell because those people are moving to town.
right. Okay.
All right. Commingling.
Mixing brokers funds with clients money.
Good. RESPA.
It's a method of closing, basically, isn't it?
It's the one that
For
prevents kickbacks.
kickbacks. Okay. All right.
Okay, good. Accretion.
Accretion is the method of obtaining land.
Okay. Testate.
When someone leaves a will.
Good. As opposed to what?
Intestate. Intestate. Yeah.
Good. So there's that one right there. What's a deed?
A deed is a document that proves there was a transfer.
Boom. Nice. Evidence of transfer. Great
All
job.
right.
A grant deed.
A grant deed. It's like if I basically grant you something, isn't it? It's
Right.
the same
So the
thing.
word you want to remember, it has implied warranties, meaning it's implied that you have the right to sell the property.
Oh, okay.
Okay. As opposed to a quitclaim deed. What's that?
A quitclaim deed is release from the seller, isn't it?
Well, it implies nothing. As opposed to a grant deed, which implies you the right. Quitclaim deed is just signing something over.
Okay.
That's why you do it with like close friends or family, things of that nature.
Okay. And quitclaim deed will be used for what? For like a sale of a house, something like that, or
Just transferring ownership. So not necessarily a sale, but like a father putting the property in the son's name.
okay. All right.
And there's
Got it.
many examples, but the thing you have to remember, it's just immediate transfer.
Okay.
Okay. Capitalization income approach.
That's when you're trying to. Ah, man, I got to stuck with this one. When you're trying to get the value of the house from capitalization, isn't it?
Converts income into value.
Okay.
Estate for years.
It's an estate that could go from, let's say, from May to like September.
Good. Fixed period of time.
Right.
Title.
Title is ownership.
Good. Cloud on title?
There's something wrong with the title.
Right. It's not clear who owns it. Good.
Right.
Leverage?
It's the method of borrowing money and increasing yours. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
using other people's money.
Okay.
Steering?
Steering is that's when you direct purchases to like in a specific area.
Good. It's another form of discrimination. Once
Right.
again, you're one of those people. You should live here.
Right. Right.
Okay, American with Disabilities Act?
That's a act to not discriminate against people that have disability.
Good. And so you see it in public buildings with ramps and handrails and elevators and whatnot.
Right. Right.
Fair housing?
That's a act to basically give fair estimates to everyone through the U.S.
Okay, what year did it come into play?
1986?
1968.
1968. Oh my God. I mixed up the last two numbers.
Yeah, don't worry. Unilateral contract?
When there's one promise only.
Excellent. A lot of people say one person, but you said it great about the
Right.
promises. Because if there's one person, you wouldn't need a contract at all.
Right, right.
Easement by prescription?
That's the right to go over someone's property.
Good, but you got it by doing it for a certain amount of time. That's the important part, it's the time.
Right, it's for 5 years, isn't it? Something like
Yeah,
that?
and each state's different, but the important part is the time.
Okay, okay.
All right, so you did great with that. Blockbusting?
Blockbusting is me telling the sellers to sell their house because there's a specific race moving into the area.
Good. Same as panic peddling.
Right.
Statute of frauds?
That's for contracts to be in writing.
Nice. Easement and gross?
That's for like a utility company.
Good. Construction loan?
That's a short-term loan, isn't it?
Yep. Also known as a interim loan. Boom.
Yes.
Give me an example of an involuntary lien.
Like taxes and stuff
Excellent.
like that.
Yep.
Got it.
Good. Give me 2 examples of police power.
Zoning
Good.
and I would say taxation. No.
Nope.
Okay.
Building codes.
Building codes. There you go. Okay.
Give me an example of a bilateral contract.
Listing. Exclusive right to sell listing.
Excellent. Caught yourself there.
Right. Thank you. When the value of the house goes down.
Okay, good. Depreciation, good.
Depreciation.
As opposed to appreciation. Which
Appreciation. When the value of the house goes up.
Yep. Actual fraud. What's another word for actual fraud?
Actual fraud, isn't it for like misrepresentation?
That's still different.
Actual fraud.
Lying.
Lying, right.
Right, straight up, you're
right.
just lying.
Right.
As opposed to misrepresentation.
That it could be unintentional.
Exactly. So it's a big difference. Misrepresentation, you could better define by, whoops.
Right.
My bad, Contingency clause.
There's a contingency. Like if I need to do something, basically, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, like get a loan, get an appraisal, get an inspection, things of that nature.
Okay.
Littoral rights.
Lake.
Boom. And it's not lake river, those are memory techniques, which are good. It just has to do with body water moving versus body water standing still.
Okay. Personal property is movable.
Is it always movable?
It could be a fixture. Yeah. No, it could be something that is like attached to a.
Is a dentist chair personal real property?
That's personal property.
Is it movable?
Nope.
Good.
I mean, yes.
Nope.
I mean, yes, it is.
No. So that's an example of personal property that's not movable because it's bolted down.
Right. Okay.
Just remember, personal property goes with the person, real property goes with the real estate.
Okay.
Appurtenances?
Appurtenances. Opportuneer. Like you take like an opportunity to take something, isn't it? Like
No, they're just
when.
things that go with the property. Remember that
Right.
easement appurtenant?
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Fiduciary?
That's the right to disclose to the buyers or sellers, basically anything
It
that
just
you
it's
help.
just showing loyalty to your client.
Okay.
It's not just real estate. It has to do with lawyers, other elements too.
Okay.
Putting their interest above your own, essentially.
Right. Right.
Statute of limitations?
Um, that's essentially is for like it creates something for like a specific period of time, right?
Good. Panic selling is similar to two other words we went over.
Yeah. It's basically you telling um like the sellers to sell, which is close to like a steering and blockbusting.
I was looking for blockbusting and panic peddling,
Oh, okay.
which are both violations of fair housing.
Right. Okay. Got it.
Estate of sufferance,
The owner is suffering
because
because the tenant is staying longer than what the lease says.
good. And it's a type of
Less than freehold estate, which is for like a specific period of time.
good, as opposed to a
A freehold estate, which is for indefinite period of time.
good. You're doing awesome.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Okay, liens,
Liens, money. Anything that has to do with money.
good. Estate at will,
State of will, it can mean that it could be terminated at any time.
good. And it's a type of
Lease.
less than freehold estate.
Okay, right. Okay.
Periodic tenancy,
Month to month.
does it have to be month to month?
Uh, one.
Could it be week to
Yes.
week, year
Yeah.
to
I mean,
year?
yeah. It could be like day to day too. It doesn't matter.
Good, like a hotel.
Right. Okay.
Okay. But yes, the typical one's month to month. Bundle of rights,
That's the right to sell and enjoy, do anything, whatever you want with the property, basically.
good. Down zoning,
From commercial to residential.
good. Takeout loan,
That's for like a construction,
right? And it's the long-term loan.
long-term loan.
It's when the
Okay.
construction ends.
Okay. Got it.
Interest,
Interest is when you borrow money, basically, and you gotta pay someone
for the
borrowing.
use of the money. Yeah. It's like rent on money.
Right.
Abstract of title,
Summary.
boom. Awesome. Plottage,
When you combine two properties.
right. I use the example of 1 + 1 = 3.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I
And
see.
the base example is if I own a parking lot and you own a store, both of our areas are worth something, but if we combine them, they'll be worth a lot more because you need a parking lot and I need a reason for people to park.
Okay. Got it.
Ostensible authority,
Okay, that one, yeah, I have problem with that one.
that's the same as apparent authority. It's just your actions. You're giving authority by your actions.
Okay, like an implied type of thing.
Yes, as
Okay.
opposed to actual authority where it's signed.
Okay, got it.
Can you give me an example of a credit to the seller when a property sells?
Um, like prepaid taxes.
Bam. Man, you've been studying. Give me an example of a debit to the buyer.
Debit to the buyer is the sell. It's a sales price of a house.
Good. Yeah, the house itself.
Right.
What's a holographic will?
Holographic will. I believe it's a will. I mean, of course, it's a will. I don't know what holographic will is though.
It means in writing.
Oh, okay. All right. Holographic will in writing.
Okay, variance.
It's a variance. It's when you're trying to get something approved, but basically like an exception.
Good. Yep, it's an exception to the rule.
Right.
Grandfather clause.
Non-conforming clause.
Well, it just gives you the right to what?
To use the property, or basically have the property how it was before.
Good. You there? Did I lose
You
you?
don't have to like your like things, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Injunction.
Uh, Sorry, you got stuck. Okay, okay, okay. And injunctions. That's you. That's like a court type of process when you telling someone to not do something.
Yeah, it's a court order to stop.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Acknowledgement.
Acknowledgement. That's you acknowledging something that's like in writing. No, like basically you telling like you like acknowledge. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I mean, I know what it is. I just don't know how to explain it.
Good. So when you put it in writing that you're aware.
Okay.
Chain of title.
That's a record of all the owners
Good.
that used to own title in that property.
Good. Let's see. Actual notice.
That's like in writing, right? Like you telling someone, like you giving notice, like you actually giving notice.
Good. Tenancy in common.
No right of survivorship.
Good. Principal contribution.
Um, that's like if you add something to the property, isn't it?
Good, like a swimming pool that adds
Right.
value.
Okay.
Interim occupancy agreement.
Like a land sales.
Nope, that just has to do with if closing and possession do not take place at the same time.
Okay. Like if you tell, like if you're selling the property and you tell, and the buyer asks you to move in before the actual
Yeah,
escrow
exactly. So you
closes.
could form an
Okay.
agreement.
Okay. Okay.
What makes a VA loan special?
There may be no down payment.
Good. What's Jones versus Mayer?
So that to disclose all the.
That's the court case that gave way to fair housing in 1968.
Okay. So basically, Jones versus Ray is fair
Yeah,
housing.
yeah. It's the court case that gave birth to fair housing.
Okay. Okay.
Percentage lease?
That lease is used for businesses,
Good.
for like the sales,
Percentage of the gross receipts?
right?
Alienation of title?
Alienation of title. Isn't it when you like get possession of title?
No, you get rid of it, other way around.
Oh, okay. So it's like the opposite. Okay, got
Yeah.
it. Alienation is scary. Okay.
Prepayment penalty?
That's a penalty that the borrower needs to pay when they
They-
pay before the due date.
Good. FHA?
That's an insurance for lenders.
Good.
That's a type of insurance, isn't it?
No, it's truth in lending. It just makes sure there's honest disclosure about loans.
Oh, okay. I think I was confused with like Alta. I think it's called.
No. General agent?
General agent. When you represent both, like a general
No.
agent.
It's when you have more than one responsibility and it's continuous, like a property manager,
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
as
All
opposed to
right,
a special agent, which is more like a real estate agent
right.
who does
Okay,
one thing specifically, and after that thing's done, they move on.
like a buyer's agent, listing agent, right?
Right. They do whatever they're contracted to do, and then they're done.
Okay.
Principal of substitution.
Principle of um, principle of substitution. Oh, man, I gotta start with this one.
It's just when you can replace something of equivalent value.
Oh, right, right, okay.
Zoning.
That's like separating like a gas station from like a house, something like
Right.
that,
And,
right?
and it's a police power.
Okay.
Subordination clause.
Like you're subordinate to something. Like you
Right.
have to do right.
So the second loan takes priority.
Okay, right.
Okay. Probate.
Man, I know this one.
Just selling the property of a deceased person when there's no heirs.
Okay.
Okay. Encroachment.
You right?
What's that? Say it again.
Like if your neighbor, like if you neighbor trespass your like property, right? Isn't it
Good.
that?
Trespass. Good. Obligatory advances.
Okay, I've never seen that word.
That's just when you get different amounts given to you at different stages of construction. So when you build the floor, you get a certain amount. When you build the roof, you get a certain amount. It's for
Oh, okay.
construction.
Okay.
All right.
Got it.
Escrow.
Uh, third party.
Right. It's a neutral third party.
Yeah.
Good. Codicil.
I knew this one. I studied this one yesterday, but I forgot already.
It's
Damn.
an amendment to a contract.
Amendment to a contract. Okay.
Amendment to a will. Yeah.
Okay.
Deposit.
It shows the seriousness of the buyer.
Excellent. Surrender.
It's when you surrender. It's when you like give the property away or something like that, or you
Excellent.
surrender.
Good. Yeah, you see it a lot with leases. Just give it up.
Right.
Subject to.
Subject to means that you give it to someone else, but you're still responsible for it.
Yes. Whereas assume the new person's responsible,
Right.
which is this one here. Good. Assume the buyer's responsible.
Okay.
Easement.
Easement. That's a. I mean, isn't it like the right to use someone's property still?
Yeah, the right to cross somebody's property to get to your own.
Okay.
Are there types of easements where you don't need to get to another property?
Yes.
Easement and gross.
Easement goes right. Okay.
Okay. Constructive fraud.
Constructive fraud. Isn't that when it's like when you don't know or you like try to like avoid something, like if they ask you about the roof and you don't answer about the roof?
That's negative fraud.
Oh, negative fraud.
Constructive fraud is when you make a mistake. There's no intention.
Okay. So
Okay.
like, okay.
Negative
Right.
fraud, if they said, what's going on with the roof? And you were like, oh, isn't it a nice day outside today?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Constructive eviction.
Like if they tell you, but it's not like in writing or it's by like
It's when
actions.
I make the property unlivable. Like actions is a good way to say it. Like I turn off the heat if you live like in a cold area.
Oh, okay. All right.
You make it unlivable. Abandonment.
When you have no intentions of coming back.
Okay, good. You leave. Estoppel statement.
Um, Stop it. Isn't that like when that's like something that prevents you from changing your mind, basically, isn't it?
Exactly. Good.
Okay.
And last but not least, agency.
Agency. That's the type of contract between you and the buyer or seller, isn't
Well,
it?
it's more the relationship. And you hear that term a cold, accountability, confidentiality, obedience, loyalty, and disclosure.
Okay, and that is also you have the right to represent someone, right? Isn't it?
Right. Then you get into dual agency, special agency. But the word agency as a whole just means, it's a form of a relationship.
Okay.
And there's
Got it.
different types of agencies.
Okay.
All right. You did awesome. If you don't pass, I'll cry.
I hope so, man. This is my third time, and I've been studying more than I have ever before.
Yeah. Well, you did great. If you have any other questions, let me know. I got to get to the next appointment now.
Okay.
But
All right.
we managed to get through all of it in a little over an hour, so that was really good.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Good job.
All right, Joe. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
But